Carl, I do love you.
What?
Every other young man in the room is staring at that girl over there, except you. I do believe she'd like to take you away from me. She keeps staring at you.
Nonsense. She's looking at you.
Welcome to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! You are not advertiser friendly! Episode number 8. Yes, 8 is great. We are starting off the second week of this wonderful, never-ending ride of horrific mayhem and murder and madness and blood and whatever else. Anyways, so tonight, we are heading to the great land of Italy, yes, to review a psychological, supernatural thriller by famed director Mario Bava. And this movie is called Shock, but it also might be known as Beyond the Door 2, because this was back in the time where releasing companies would often rename movies to cash in on more popular movies, just like them slapping the title Zombie on a whole bunch of Italian movies to cash in on the whole zombie series popularity. Anyway, so, Shock. What is Shock about? Well, it is about a woman with her second husband and her son from her first marriage. They move back into a house where she previously lived with her now deceased first husband. And things start going weird, strange things. The boy starts acting a little bit odd, starts playing some rather cruel tricks on his mother, and his mother starts to become unhinged, and the madness starts to grow. See, previously, her first husband was a drug addict, and living with him was not the greatest situation, and so she ended up having a complete breakdown, and the first husband ended up committing suicide. And so years later, seemingly better, being back in this house may have awoken some of those latent emotions and fears, and they are starting to manifest themselves into a psychosis, and she is slowly being driven insane. All the while, the husband, the new husband, seems to have a little bit of a secret. He is insistent that they stay in this house, even though she pleads to have them leave. So something afoot is going on there. So what's happening? Is this house haunted by the ghost of her dead first husband, influencing the poor child to run amok, or is he just being a rambunctious little terror, and she's just losing her mind? Who knows? What will we find out, of course. And so, let's get to those scores. Violence and gore, I am giving it a solid 3 out of 5. Honestly, there's not a lot of violence in this movie, but the violence that is there has some pretty good impact, and there is quite a bit of blood and a little bit of gore. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a bit of leeway just because the impact of it is a bit greater than sometimes more like violent fisticuff type situations. Anyway, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Shock value, I am giving it a solid 3.5 out of 5. There are actually some jump scares in this movie that got me, and they were pretty good. And you usually don't associate Italian horror with too much jump scares. It's all about mood and atmosphere And this movie does just exude atmosphere, and that kind of helps with the jump scares in there. Plus the fact that we have a nice little twist of an ending, and I thought it was a very satisfying ending, and it kind of took me off guard. So I was impressed. So kudos. So 3.5 out of 5. Plot, I am giving it a solid 3 out of 5. At first, I thought it was just going to be some slow burn, supernatural, psychological horror, but the fact of the matter is that they have these sort of interwoven plot lines, like that she used to be, seeing a doctor for psychological reasons, the fact that the mystery of the suicide of the husband, what's the second husband doing? Why is he so secretive? Why is he so insistent on keeping this house? And the fact that you're sort of kind of like trying to figure out whether or not it's actually supernatural or it's just all in her mind, or maybe a little bit of both. And I thought, it took kind of a basic premise of a, haunted house type of film and really did something kind of unique with it, and so I was really happy with it, especially the ending. So I'm giving it a good 3 out of 5. Acting, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, even though I think the lead character, the mother, really maybe a little over the top with the screaming and whatnot. But then again, that I guess that's kind of what they were doing to try to create that feeling that she's losing her mind. But a little bit too much. But anyway, still solid 3 out of 5. Nudity, I am giving it a 0.5 out of 5. Honestly, there's not much. It's real brief. You just get some butt shot, and that's about it, really. But hey, it's still fine. It's still a good movie. So moving on. Enjoyment factor, I am giving it a 4 out of 5. I found myself really enjoying this movie when it gets to the end. At the beginning, I thought, oh no, it's not going to be kind of like one of those slow burn type of movies. I guess I wasn't technically sort of in the mood for it when I started watching. I was hoping that it was going to get nuts right off the bat. But as the movie progressed, it really grew on me. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the creepiness. I loved the descent into madness that she was having, and the questions of whether or not it was actual madness or supernatural, or what was going on with the second husband, things like that. And honestly, by the end, I was quite happy and satisfied, and kind of laughing at the ending, going, "Oh my God, really? That is, oh damn." Anyway, so. Enjoyment factor 4 out of 5, and that leads to my overall impression 3.5 out of 5. Yes, it's a bit slow at the beginning. The acting is a bit uneven for my taste, and even though it does have interesting plot lines and a good twist, it definitely is kind of a basic and not completely original premise. I've found myself looking at certain elements going, wow, this is sort of borrowed from this and this and this, or not necessarily borrowed, but kind of harkens to that type of stuff, but still very solid, 3.5 out of 5. And that averages out to be a solid 2.9 out of 5. So Shock, otherwise known as Beyond the Door 2, perhaps I should have seen Beyond the Door 1, and found out that there's absolutely zero connection between the two. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that next time. I don't know, but I liked it. But what did you think? Have you seen Shock? Leave a comment in the comment field. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share, upload list, things, whatever YouTube speak happens at the end of these films. Notification squad, hey, check out the 2 things, right? It's gonna show up eventually anyways. But no, not too bad. Episode 8 in the books. I enjoyed the movie. I was quite happy to come across it. And hey, if you like Mario Bava, hey, why don't you give me a suggestion of a Bava film that you like that you might want me to review? Because I do like the Bavas, including Lamberto and Berto and Umberto, whatever. Anyways, but until then, Internet, you stay sexy, you stay scary, and, don't go into the basement. You never know what kind of crazy insanity will be unleashed upon you. Especially if you got, like, a creepy little kid, because, my God, that's nightmare fuel.